Good morning guys, and welcome to the Sunday planning video update. It's currently Sunday 17th of March. A bit of an early start today. We have our 3-year-old granddaughter staying over with us, and that's partly the reason that I was in the office at 7 o'clock this morning. And the second reason is we're off down to Newquay today to take her down to see her mum and dad, who are staying overnight down there. So that's the reason for the early start. But looking forward to the week to come, there are really two main elements. First of all, with ADI Success is the transition book. That's due to arrive tomorrow, Monday. And that's sort of the culmination of many, many months of work and lots of time and effort. So we're really pleased now that that's going to come to fruition. And what I'll do in a second is I'll take you in there and show you a quick preview of what the book contains. And secondly, of course, if you saw the video, the catch-up video yesterday, you'll know that on Friday we announced the winner of our Facebook Messenger competition. And of course, that's only the beginning. So we've had 2 weeks of fantastic exposure and promotion. The real point of the whole campaign is now to follow up on 309 people that entered, so technically they're subscribers, and I've been working on the message and adding some final tweaks to it, because that's going to go out tomorrow morning. And of course the success of that competition will revolve around how many of our 10-hour courses that we then sell to technically the runners-up, and I'll give you a quick look at that as well. Okay, so without further ado then, let's go take a look at the book, and I'll give you a very quick whistle-stop tour of what the book contains and how that might be helpful for you. Okay, so I'm just going to run through a quick overview of the book. I mean, it is 107 pages. It's going to be a whistle-stop tour. Okay, so let's have a look inside. Okay, so as you would expect, the beginning of the book sets the scene. It's all about having a predictable selling system to recruit PDIs, and then basically having systems in place to keep them busy once they've qualified. I mean, there are only two elements to growing a business. One is having enough instructors, and two, having enough work to supply them. You know, in a nutshell, that's it. Yes, there's lots of other things that go around that, but basically that's the main concept. Okay, so what it looks at it early on in the book is the reasons why you're actually looking to scale and grow your driving school. You know, it could be to material wealth. It might be that, you know, instead of driving around in a tuition car, you may prefer to be driving around in, you know, 50 grand's worth of BMW, whatever takes your fancy. It could be that you want to go to Sandals, you know, without the kids for a change, rather than the usual 3-star, 4-star in Spain. The angle to look at as well, of course, is that when you're a sole trader, you very much rely on your input into the business. So the more hours you work, the more you get paid. So the reverse of that, of course, is if, like me, you had 8 weeks out of work when I had a hip done, could you sustain 8 weeks loss of income? And what would happen to all your customer base whilst you're off work? And of course, when you're running a business and scaling it, this actually didn't make a slightest bit of difference to me at all, because I'm not involved in the day-to-day running of the driving school. So therefore my income is only governed by the amount of instructors that I have, and not what I actually do myself. So that could be a different angle of looking at it. And of course, the final thing here is that, you know, as a business owner, again, because you're not constantly working in your business, you know, teaching folk to drive, you do have a lot of free time. And whether you choose to, as in my case, take the granddaughter for fishing, play golf, or do any of the other things that that appeals to you, the main thing is that, of course, that you do have that choice. Okay, so then it goes on to a piece about why you want to train and clone your instructors, why that is so much a better idea than trying to recruit fully qualified. And, you know, really there are lots and lots of pages that go into the whole system, and why you might want to go down that road, as I did. There's some facts and figures in there that were actually from 2018. You know, you can see there's 42 grand, nearly 43 grand that I brought in training by using that predictable selling system. and obviously it goes into some detail as to how you might want to do that. So I'm just going to skip through these pages. You probably know by now that we have a very different approach to marketing our training course than the mainstream providers, and it very much is an under the radar approach. So lots of information on that. The follow-up, why it's so important to follow up on people that have requested the book that you send them. Call to action, and of course the interview process, extremely important. It doesn't mean that you have to be great at doing interviews. It just means to know, you just need to know the format. And there isn't actually selling involved at all. You're not selling them anything. It's just the way you go about talking to them. And you can see that we very often get that 8 out of 10 sign up. The other thing in the interview, it lists there are 4 or 5 what I would regard as main selling points. And when I speak to ADIs, they're often concerned about price matching. You know, people offer training in my area much cheaper, less than half the price that we're charging, and I get that, and I have exactly the same. But that's because you're looking at it completely different. What you need to do in this interview, you need to get across your main selling points, and you'll find there's 4 or 5 of them there I list in the book. And what they will do is position you, so it's impossible for any prospect that you speak to price match you with your competitors. We're going to be offering them something different, and therefore it's not possible for them to price match you. So that is like so important. And you know, we go into full detail on how you might want to do that. There's a piece in the book as well that, of course, the training is just the beginning. The revenue that you bring in from training people, but of course the real revenue is going to follow that. And and it says here the training fees are just the beginning of the revenue system. And then it goes on to talk about the franchise fees that are going to give you that residual monthly income. And there's a big piece about how much can you afford to spend and acquire a trainee. So it's really important that you understand that, because when that becomes clear, you'll have a very clear vision of what you need to spend to get someone in and what they're going to be worth to you over a period of time. Okay, there's a piece in here as well about predictable selling systems for keeping them busy. You know, once you have your trainees and then they become franchisees, of course you need to be keeping them busy. And like in our case now, where we're looking to scale to 100, that's an awful lot of diaries we need to fill. So there are lots and lots of information in there on how you can keep them busy. And then there's a section in the book and we look at the reasons for failure. You know, there is a very good reason why there are so few driving school owners out of the 40,000 odd ADIs that are in the UK. And quite a few do actually start out on the journey and get their first 1 or 2 franchisees, but then they struggle to scale that, you know, to get up past the 5, 10s, 20s, 30s. And there are lots of reasons as to why that is. So again, we cover that off in some detail. And then finally, towards the end of the book, there is a piece on goal planning and how that's going to make life easy for you. We have a number of downloads, like the budget forecast planner, which is, I couldn't run a business without one of these, and you're able to just simply download those to make use of them. 8-spoke wheel is again extremely important. Everything revolves around that. That gives you your plan, gives you your focus. We talk quite a lot about, first of all, how you set your goal, and then how you set a plan up to achieve that goal, and more importantly, how you're going to keep focused to make sure that you're hitting your targets on an annual, you know, a quarterly, a monthly, weekly, and daily basis. Okay, and that's sort of a quick preview of the book. As you can see here, 106 pages. And if you feel that that's something that will be of use to you, then that should be available from Monday/Tuesday as soon as we get the delivery come in. So we'll have more information on that as we go through the week. Okay, so hopefully you can see that the book, as I've said before, it really is the glue now that's going to bring the 7-part video series together, along with these info documentaries, put it all in a nice little package. And therefore make it much easier for you to make that transition if you choose to. And of course the whole idea of the book is to save you vast amounts of time, money and effort in trying to figure it all out yourself, because I've already figured it out and I'm sharing that information with you. So that's sort of the whole point. It's a fast track to success. Okay, so now we'll just pop across also to our Facebook Messenger. I'll show you the message that we've been tweaking. That'll be going out just after 6 o'clock on Monday morning. Okay, so we've just jumped into our Messenger. And the all-important follow-up sequence now that's going to be sent out to all those that subscribe to the competition. So you can see here's the starting step. Real sorry, but you didn't win the free driving lesson course. The lucky winner was Sammy Lee. However, we do have a number of runner-up prizes, a way of saying thank you for participating, and we get them to click the button. And then once they click that button, if they click no, they go in here and we just wish them all the best. And if they click yes, then they'll go into a follow-up sequence that we've taken a long time to plan out. And you probably can't read that right now. I've scrolled in, but I will go into more detail on that. But this is going to determine the success of the whole campaign once we start sending that out. And if I go next, you can see here it's actually going to go out to 309 subscribers. And the really cool thing with using Messenger is that, unlike email, that is getting notoriously low open rates, the likely it is that out of that 309, virtually all of them will read this message. And that's why this is such a cool marketing tool to be using. So as I've already said, the week's going to really be focused on the results we get from this, and then I'll come back on Saturday with the outcome. Okay guys, so that's the plan for the forthcoming week. As always, there will be other things that crop up along the way, but that's our main focus, and I'll be back again on Saturday and give you hopefully some facts and figures on how all that panned out. Okay, speak to you soon. Bye for now. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to click the little bell. That way you'll get a notification every time I put up a new video. Thank you for watching.